Today, we're plunging into a film that's, well, it's become nothing short of iconic.
Yeah.
The Coen brothers' 1996 masterpiece, Fargo.
You betcha.
You've likely seen it. You probably love it. But our mission today is maybe to go a bit beyond just, the plot points.
Definitely. We want to dig into it.
We're going to try and extract the most important nuggets of knowledge from its rich narrative and the insightful analysis out there. Really unpack the core ideas.
Yeah, what makes it so uniquely compelling, from those unforgettable characters to its very distinctive tone.
Exactly.
It's so much more than just, a crime story set in the snow.
Right.
What we want to do in this deep dive is help you find those aha moments. What's the film really saying about human nature, about morality, maybe even the pursuit of freedom?
Which is often misunderstood.
Totally. Yeah. And we promise to keep it engaging, maybe with just enough of that signature Coen dark humor to keep you hooked.
Okay, so to really get into it, let's maybe just briefly set the scene for anyone who might need a quick refresher.
Good idea.
The story kicks off in those desolate, snow-covered parts of Minnesota and North Dakota. Mm-hmm. We meet Jerry Lundegaard, car salesman.
Mm-hmm. Drowning in debt.
Right. And he cooks up this desperate, incredibly ill-advised plan. He hires two criminals, Carl Showalker and Geir Grimsrud.
Right, the pair.
To kidnap his own wife, Jean. The idea, as you might guess, is to extort his wealthy father-in-law, Wade Gustafson, for, what was it, a $500,000 ransom?
Something like that. A lot of money back then. But almost immediately it all goes sideways.
Wait.
And that's where the brilliance and maybe the brutality really starts to surface. The scheme just collapses.
Yes.
Instantly.
Yeah.
The kidnappers ruthlessly kill a police officer who just stumbles upon them, and the violence just escalates from there, leaving this trail of, innocent bodies.
It's striking how fast Jerry's plan, which seemed maybe sort of contained in his head, just unravels.
Yeah, it shows the immediate, utterly brutal consequences of his moral compromises. It's like a house of cards just collapsing in the first act.
It is. And that's precisely where Marge Gunderson enters the picture.
Yeah, Marge.
She's a local police chief from Brainerd, Minnesota. Finds the clues, and with this quiet perceptiveness and almost innate optimism.
Which is amazing, given the circumstances.
Right. She relentlessly advances the investigation, completely unaware, at first anyway, of the sheer scale of the conspiracy.
Marge's unwavering approach is truly remarkable. As she patiently gathers evidence, testimonies, she just gets inexorably closer to the culprits. Her simple, firm conscience completely dismantles Jerry's selfish arguments during that final interrogation. It just exposes his guilt.
Yeah, she's such a stark contrast to the escalating chaos around her, a kind of beacon of normalcy in this truly abnormal situation.
Absolutely.
So if we step back a bit, what are the big ideas this all illuminates? One of the major things Fargo seems to grapple with is the illusion of freedom versus true inner liberty.
That's a big one. Jerry, for instance, he believes if he can just get this ransom money, it'll free him, from his debts, give him independence.
But his desperate grab for that kind of freedom only tightens the chains of, fear and guilt around him.
Exactly. His actions lead not to liberation, but to deeper enslavement, to his own anxieties, his transgressions. $500,000 couldn't buy him out of himself. It just trapped him deeper.
It really did.
Then you have Carl and Geir. They represent this almost absolute amoral criminal freedom. They act without scruples, no social ties.
Over detachment.
But the Coens brilliantly argue that kind of unchecked freedom isn't liberation either. It's just another, maybe bleaker kind of prison. Carl and Geir are free to act as they wish, but they're basically condemned to this hunted, isolated existence.
And then there's Marge. She's the complete antithesis of that, isn't she?
Totally.
Her self-assurance, her simple way of life, it allows her to pursue justice without resentment. It makes you realize that maybe authentic free will comes from honesty and inner calm.
Her choices reflect an autonomy that's really rooted in unwavering integrity. So if we connect this to the bigger picture, the film seems to suggest that true freedom requires moral responsibility.
It's not about having no rules.
Right. It's about acting from a place of integrity, like Marge does. It really forces you to ask, what do we truly consider freedom? Is it just the ability to do anything you want, or is it the strength to do what's right, even when it's hard?
That's a powerful question. But beyond freedom, there's another really insidious force driving this whole chaotic narrative, isn't there?
Oh, yeah. Money.
Money. It acts as the fuel for almost every single action in Fargo. Jerry wants it to solve his debts, maintain his social status.
But that very desire pushes him to plan this much bigger crime.
Exactly.
And the film meticulously dismantles the illusion that money solves problems. It often just aggravates them beyond measure.
And think about Wade Gustafson, Jerry's father-in-law. He's kind of an unwitting pawn in a way, symbolizing how money's power can corrupt even family relationships.
Yeah, his impatience, his arrogance when the ransom payment gets delayed, that directly precipitates the tragedy. He clearly prioritizes the money over his daughter's immediate safety.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
And the criminals, Carl and Gere, they just want the money for its own sake.
Purely. Every murder seems to bring them closer to their ransom, the loot, but it also corners them further, pushes them into the path of the law.
The whole ransom is supposed to recover some kind of, I don't know, economic balance.
Yeah.
But it ultimately underscores that money without ethics is just, it's an impossible burden.
It's like a toxic asset, yeah. It infects everything it touches.
It absolutely is.
The film establishes this clear hierarchy of values where, for many characters, money's right at the top, leading to devastating consequences.
And this contrasts so sharply with the film's exploration of, like, core moral values.
Exactly. Marge, for example, she acts out of justice, empathy. She obeys her vocation without yielding to external pressures. Her honesty is this quiet catalyst that finally halts the spiraling violence.
Whereas Jerry, in stark contrast, sacrifices core family, values his wife's well-being, his father-in-law's trust, all for financial gain. His selfishness literally brings tragedy right into his own home.
And Carl and Gere. They know no compassion, they kill out of carelessness, or just the simple will to eliminate witnesses. Their complete lack of scruples just dramatically highlights Marge's clear conscience.
Yeah.
This reinforces the idea that moral values act as both a social and a personal brake, you know? The film profoundly suggests that morality isn't just some abstract concept, but a binding tie. It connects community, family.
And when that tie is broken, chaos emerges.
Right. Every crime leaves a body, a silenced witness, a trauma. The film doesn't hide or glamorize the murders at all.
No, it's very stark.
It really drives home the point that destructive moral transgression is, well, lethal.
Okay, so moving from the what's to maybe the how of Fargo, let's talk about its incredibly distinct flavor. Starting with the tone in that ambient setting.
Oh, the snow.
The pervasive snowy atmosphere, right? The silence, the vastness.
Mm-hmm.
It really magnifies the coldness, both external and internal, of the characters.
Those icy landscapes, they act almost as metaphors for the maybe frozen consciences of Carl and Gere, and certainly Jerry's emotional isolation.
Yeah.
And what's truly fascinating here is how the Coen brothers masterfully blend that dark humor with really brutal violence.
It's jarring.
You see these everyday scenes like Marge eating donuts, drinking coffee, providing this almost comical counterpoint to the absolute brutality of the crimes. It's a very Coen-esque move, isn't it?
Totally. It generates this bittersweet sensation that makes the violence even more impactful because it's so unexpected in such like mundane settings. It's almost disorienting.
It really is. You find yourself almost laughing and then immediately questioning why you're laughing.
Exactly. And the characters themselves are iconic, full of contradictions. Marge Gunderson, for instance, she's basically created as the antithesis of the criminal.
Right. Her pregnancy, being 9 months along, reinforces this idea of renewal, of hope.
Standing in stark contrast to all the death that follows the kidnappers.
Yeah. And her calm voice, her kindness, it hides this steely determination that you might not expect at first.
She's remarkable.
Absolutely. Then you have Jerry Lundegaard, the sort of pathetic anti-hero.
Mm-hmm.
His nervous speech, those accumulated lies, they reveal his profound insecurity. He isn't some ruthless villain, more someone just overwhelmed by greed and desperation.
Which makes him tragic and also kind of unsettlingly relatable, maybe.
Yeah, it's a compelling study in how a desperate man can just dig himself into this inescapable hole, one frantic lie at a time.
And Carl Showalter and Gere Grimsrud.
Yeah.
The definition of good bad guys is maybe not right, but memorable bad guys.
Definitely memorable. Carl talks way too much, exhibiting this false confidence.
While Gere's laconic, just embodies this more primitive, chilling evil.
Together they represent these two faces of criminality. The chatty, blundering one and the quiet, utterly ruthless one.
The narrative style, too, the dramatic structure of the film, it contributes so much to its impact. There's this, like, deceptively tranquil rhythm that just steadily builds tension.
Yeah, the story appears to advance slowly, but every scene delivers these crucial clues that Marge patiently gathers.
Leading to an inevitable and often bloody culmination.
And the Coens frequently use those long, static shots, don't they, to intensify the feeling of unease and just the sheer immensity of the landscape.
They do, and the screenplay perfectly balances these measured dialogues with abrupt, shocking moments of violence.
Which makes the murders hit even harder, like they're ruptures in an otherwise calm reality.
Exactly.
That balance is incredibly effective. It means you're often kind of lulled into a sense of calm just before something truly shocking happens.
And speaking of dialogues, the film's language is just infused with those Minnesota colloquialisms like "oofda" and "you betcha."
Oh, yeah.
It lends authenticity and creates this sense of empathy with the local characters, I think.
It really does. You know, I actually tried using "oofda" once after watching this film and just got some very confused looks.
Yeah, it really makes you appreciate how embedded that language is in the film's fabric, doesn't it?
Totally. The humor also often springs from these unexpected places, like that "wear a mask" sign painted almost in the kidnapper style, or Jerry's hilariously clumsy attempts at lying.
That light comedy, juxtaposed with the tragedy, it really reinforces the idea that the absurd and the cruel just kind of coexist in the world.
It's a signature Coen touch, absolutely.
Huh.
Underscoring that life is often both tragic and darkly comical, sometimes at the same time.
And the music, the sound design, they also play a crucial thematic role, don't they?
Definitely. The minimalist soundtrack just accentuates the loneliness, the suspense. It draws you deeper into that bleak environment. You can practically feel the cold just from the sound design.
You absolutely can. The crunch of snow under boots,
Looking in the trees.
the profound silence. These elements become almost like protagonists themselves, underlining the pervasive tension and that emotional desolation.
It's all part of the fabric. And what's truly striking about Fargo, I think, is how it functions as this deep psychological microscope.
Yeah.
It dissects human motivations, greed, fear, honesty, and then meticulously traces the direct consequences stemming from each moral choice. The characters, even if they lean towards archetypes, feel incredibly complex and credible.
And the Coen brothers' ability to just seamlessly mix that dark humor with brutal violence creates such an intense cinematic experience. As a viewer, you perceive the stark coldness of the landscape, the chilling nature of the crimes, but you also find these unexpected flashes of warmth and goodness, primarily through Marge.
And that contrast is what makes it so powerful.
Yeah.
It offers this really profound reflection on morality and, well, contemporary society. In a world where money and material success often take precedence, Fargo serves as a stark warning about the human cost of abandoning core values.
It doesn't offer easy answers.
Not at all. But it powerfully argues that personal integrity, so beautifully embodied by Marge, is maybe the only true antidote to the chaos and enemy that can arise.
And that hostile, snowy landscape, it's not just a backdrop, is it?
No way. It's a dramatic factor in itself. It magnifies the character's solitude, highlights their internal contradictions. The physical cold literally becomes a metaphor for hearts hardened by greed.
It's just an integral part of the narrative power.
Yeah.
Fargo undeniably marked as sort of before and after in independent cinema of the 90s.
Oh, for sure. Its precise screenplay, those unforgettable characters, and the Coen brothers' masterful direction have just solidified its place as a benchmark for storytelling where morality and survival collide.
On a stage as simple as a snowy plain.
Exactly.
So wrapping up our deep dive into Fargo, let's maybe quickly summarize some of the core insights. We've seen that complex interplay between the illusion of freedom and what true inner liberty actually looks like.
Yeah, and we explored the double-edged nature of money, how it's both this powerful motivator and also a potential destroyer.
And we really highlighted the profound importance of moral values, right, as the foundation for both personal well-being and societal cohesion.
Dramatically contrasted through characters like Marge Gunderson versus the destructive paths of Jerry, Carl, and Gare.
And all of this amplified by the Coen brothers' masterful use of that snowy Minnesota landscape and, of course, that unforgettable dark humor.
Couldn't forget the humor.
We hope this deep dive has maybe offered you a shortcut to a much richer, more nuanced understanding of this cinematic masterpiece, something far beyond just watching the film again.
Hopefully. Now, for a final thought to maybe ponder, consider how Marge Gunderson, with her unassuming honesty and quiet determination amidst all that bleak, violent chaos, embodies a profound form of resistance. What does it truly mean for integrity to be not some grand gesture, but just a consistent, calm presence in a world so often driven by greed and desperation?
That's a great question. What small, everyday choices can you make that reflect this kind of deep inner freedom, regardless of the external circumstances. Something to think about.